I want to start this video off by saying this is for people who are obsessed with the meta and play by that rather than just getting characters you love. This is for people who play the gacha solely to get cards to fill their team slots and don't care about characters as long as they have the strongest team. I think any card can work for your team if you put in the work, and this is to help you better understand the card and put it in the right team for both you and that card. If you're watching this, I'm assuming you're already well versed in meta and gameplay, so I'm not going to explain basic gameplay stuff. If you're new and don't know mechanics yet, I have videos on that to fill in some gaps. Clubwear Lilia is an SSR defense unit. He's available via a limited time gacha. All Clubwear cards have exclusive furniture instead of personal stories, which, honestly, not a huge fan of, but I digress. Raise those vignette levels to get those furniture recipes, or DIYs. It's 3:30 as I'm writing this, and frankly, I don't care enough to look and see what it's called. You guys know what I'm talking about. Lilia can be built like any normal card. You'll need to get him to level 40 and vignette level 3 to groovy him, and groovying him will cost 5 back candy. Right out of the box, Lily's a very good defense unit. He has the highest minimum and maximum HP out of any card in Twist at the moment at 3,139 and 14,596 respectively. His HP is fantastic, but admittedly his attack is pretty low. It's not the lowest of all defense cards, but it's the lowest of the defense SSRs, and there are actually defense SRs with higher attack stats than him. He's also the lowest of all SSRs, just barely beating out Dorm Uniform Idia. You can easily counter this by having strong attack cards on your team, but just keep in mind that Lilia is really built for HP padding and healing, which takes us to his skills. Lilia has incredible skills. He's going to be a decent healer. He's got minor HP restoration at Spell 1 levels 1, 5, and 10. However, at level 5 he grants curse immunities to allies for 1 turn, which is really useful, and he's the only unit in the game that has this ability as of now. This aspect of his card is obviously more geared to protect against enemies that throw out curses, but given his healer status and how unique the skill is, I think it makes him a very solid healer. Lilia is a water and fire unit. He has Aqua Wave, which does strong water damage. His aforementioned skills are attached to this spell. His second spell is Fire Shot 2 for levels 1 through 9, and then at 10 it graduates to Flame Blast 2, so he goes from doing weak fire damage to strong. Like the majority of cards in this game, he has no skills attached to the second spell except for the normal duo magic stuff. Lilia's duo magic is with Kate. As per usual with the SSRs, Kate's also one of his buddy bonuses, and his bonus is a moderate power boost. Both Jack and Sebek provide a minor HP boost to Lilia as their buddy bonuses. Yeah, you can make his HP even higher if you want. Lilia is an HP king, and while for most fights, I think you won't need Jack and Sebek both, but if you're struggling in a fight, it probably would be very helpful to have both of them in your team along with Lilia just to give you more HP. But again, I feel like that's more of a last resort thing, to be quite honest. Like, Lilia's HP is already very high, so like, unless you're really struggling, I honestly don't see a need to have Jack and Sebek in his team. You know? I feel like if you had to pick only one of the buddies, Kate would be the one you want for that moderate power boost because he needs it. He unfortunately needs all of the, power boosts that he can get. When it comes to the Curse Immunity skill, there is no dupe for Lilia. His other skills and spells, however, yeah, you can dupe those. The best alternatives at this time are Silkadorn Jamil, Dorm Uniform Trey, and Dorm Uniform Apple. I will also say that Dorm Uniform Idia is also a decent alternative in terms of HP and attack stats, but other than that, your mileage may vary with him, just as a heads up. He's not in the game yet, but we're getting Chapter 6 fairly soon. He's going to be in the game pretty soon. Silkadorn Jamil has the closest HP numbers to Lilia, only being slightly under Lilia. He does, however, have higher attack stats. They both have Aqua Wave as their first spell. Jamil isn't really built for healing, though. His skills are damage cuts to foes, which is useful, but if you need a healer, Jamil is really only supplying HP numbers, which, while it does have its place, it's not healing. It's not going to help with healing at all. If you need a healer, Jamil's not going to be your best option, honestly. They have different second spells as well, as Jamil has Water Shot 2 and not Fire Shot 2. But Jamil does have a duo magic with Kate, which is kind of surprising. Honestly, I was not expecting that when I was doing my research. However, his buddy bonus with Kate is a minor power boost as opposed to a moderate power boost, and he doesn't share any of the same buddies with Lilia except for Kate. Now, in terms of dupes, I feel like Trey and Epple are the better dupe options, but both have some differences. Trey, like Jamil, has a lower HP but a higher attack than Lilia. They both have Aqua Wave and HP Restoration. Trey's actually goes beyond just a minor level restoration and goes to moderate, which Lilia does not. Trey does not share Fire Shot 2 and has Leash Shot 2 instead, but they both have Kate as a duo magic partner. Kate provides Trey an HP buddy bonus instead of power. And like before with Jamil, Kate is the only buddy Lilia and Trey share. If you care more about duo magic than matching spells, I think Trey would be the better Lilia dupe for you. Epple has lower HP but higher attack than Lilia or any of the other alternatives I've mentioned. He and Lilia share Aqua Wave and HP Restoration. Epple does have an additional skill like Lilia, but his is a power drain on foes and not curse immunity. Epple has Fire Shot 2 that turns into Flame Blast 2 just like Lilia. Epple doesn't have Kate as a duo magic partner, but he does have Jack as a buddy, although for a minor power boost and non-HP boost. If you're more concerned about spell elements rather than duo magic, I would choose Epple as the better dupe over Trey, but again, it all depends on what your team needs are. While I'm trying for this card regardless because I love Lilia, this card is honestly pretty damn good. His high HP and unique skill are enough justification to pull for him in my opinion. I do concede that predicting when enemies will use a curse can be difficult, but I still think it's worth to have Lilia just in case. There is one other card that has some kind of an immunity skill, but it's not the same as Lilia's, and regardless, he'd still be 1 out of 2 cards out of 200 something that have an immunity skill. I think it's like 250. Hold on, I can actually check my spreadsheet. We are checking this in real time. So yeah, there's almost 300 cards actually. It's probably like, 285, because I have some of the Bloom birthdays listed and they're not out in JP yet. But anyway, almost 300 cards. Definitely in the 200s, 1 out of... I rest my case. I rest my case with that, quite honestly. I would say Lilia's more of a specialized healer rather than a general one, but I still think he can be used as a general one. Like, he doesn't need to be used just for curse immunity, although that is very useful. I will say I would pay extra attention to attack stats if you have Lilia in a team just because his numbers are very, very low, and that's definitely going to need fixing. I would highly recommend having Kate in his team because of that power boost and the duo magic. Again, I think he's the better option than Jack and Sebek, although I love them and they are my sons. I think Kate's really gonna be the way to go for this card. I hope this mini guide helps you better understand Clubwear Lilia, and while I hope you get him if you've decided to go for him, I hope it also points you to some solid alternatives. I didn't manage to get Lilia on JP, so I'm really, really hoping he's kind to me in the end. It comes home, please Lilia, I swear to God. I did 80 pulls for him on JP. I used everything to try and get him, and I did not get him. Anyway, so, good luck. Whoosh, you have my luck if you were trying for him. And with that, I'll see y'all later. Bye!